Good morning, everyone. My name is Lindsay. Welcome to Coffee and Cookies, where we talk about family, leadership, life, parenting, a little bit of business, all those things. So join us in our conversation today. Today is a great day for a great day. Today's show is sponsored by Rookie.io, reputation management to help your business stay in front of your prospects in a positive light. Go learn more at www.rookie.io. That's RUCI. Yeah, totally was going to spell it out, and then I got distracted because sound was coming. Anyway, we're so glad that you're joining us this morning, Monday morning, and I would like to introduce Nick. Are you ready, Nick? Oh, Nick, like 2 minutes before the show, decided he was going to be mute and is not going to talk. So you get to have me all day. Seriously? This is what we're having? Okay.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Just gotta know how to add a little stress to that, you know? Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Coffee and Cookie. Welcome to the Coffee and Cookies morning show. My name is Nick.
See, that's what happens when you're like, no, I'm going to be a stinker and I'm not going to talk.
This has been my morning. I've been called a stinker. I've been called all kinds of things.
I have not called
this
you
morning.
things.
All
No.
kinds of things this morning.
No.
And I need extra prayers today.
That's true. He does.
Holy shit. Taylor squished how long that last. Good morning, Taylor. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us this morning. Lindsay, you had topics. You had things you want to talk about. But hey, let's go ahead and recap the weekend real quick. What'd you do?
We had soccer this weekend, and I actually had a mom appreciation day, event, something like that. And it was with all the moms in our daycare. So the daycare actually puts it on. She's amazing. Jamie's amazing. But she's full. So sorry for everybody else. But Taylor was actually there. So her kiddos used to go to Jamie's house. And man, it was so much fun. We got to build charcuterie boards. It's fun for a girl. Nick's like, that does not sound like fun.
For those that are not hoity-toity, what is a charcuterie board?
Charcuterie board is a platter of
More Rosalie,
meats,
more than Nolan.
cheeses, fruits, fanciness.
It's a fancy
It's
way
a
of
fancy-
putting fruit on a
You know,
plate,
okay,
cheese
so-
and crackers on a plate, and saying that's a charcuterie board.
You know, I saw a
You're
meme.
so bougie.
I saw a meme one day, and it was talking about charcuterie boards, and it was how the Lunchable generation like grew up and wanted to keep it in their lives.
Generation. That is such a great way of putting that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, like how the Lunchable generation keeps them in their life. It was funny. Because really, it's like crackers, meats, and cheeses. And some chocolates in there. You know the Lunchables that got the really good Lunchables that you had the treat in?
And people like spend a lot of money on these.
They do.
They spend a lot of money.
Okay, so the items are not necessarily cheap either. It's like fancy cheese, like goat cheese wrapped in like blueberries, and yeah. This other cheese was soaked in it was some kind of wine. It was delicious.
Soaked in a Merlot.
Merlot, thank you.
You're welcome.
It was so good.
Now, if you caught that, everyone should be asking, how does Nick know this?
Because I shared my leftovers. Actually, my leftovers, I gave them to Nick and Amber.
You gave him to Amber. And then I saw this tray. I'm not even going to call it your fancy word. Saw this tray.
Just because you can't say the word.
Just because I can say the word. I'm not going to do it. I saw this tray and I was like, that's a very interesting cheese. So I tried it.
It was delicious, wasn't it?
It was actually pretty good.
It was amazing.
I don't know if I go amazing.
So
It's pretty good.
Yes. So the person that Jamie uses to make she buys these boards quite frequently for all of our holiday parties. There's a board. So that's who she had come teach us how to make a charcuterie board. And she gets this stuff local. So she always has like a little jar of jelly, and it's like the Jelly Queen. And she's local and has like super fancy and been on like TV shows. She makes this spicy jelly. Oh my gosh. It's so yum.
Good morning, sweet wife. Yep, I beat you to it though. I said the word Merlot first. Did you read Nolan's comment?
How about taking Lunchables and just putting it on a nice plate? I don't
Pretty
think
much what it is.
I don't think it's quite the
That
same.
is,
No.
you want there.
No.
What was the meat? It was a pepperoni or a salami, right?
It was a salami.
It was a salami.
But usually,
and
like,
it was
you
a
can
cheese,
get like
and there was a cracker.
Okay, but
like,
it wasn't
literally
like,
Lunchable.
It wasn't a Ritz cracker that comes in a Lunchable.
Oh, it's a fancy cracker.
It's a fancy cracker.
It's a fancy cracker.
It's fancy cheese. Like, it's not just like some American
Now,
slices.
here's the only thing. Here's the only thing. Here's the only thing. Are you ready?
American slices.
Ready?
Yeah.
You're supposed to do this when you have wine. But
Oh, we
Lindsay,
had wine.
Lindsay, do you drink wine?
Sometimes.
Lindsay, what wine do you drink?
I see it goes perfectly with the charcuterie board because it's a dessert wine. So it sweetens up everything on the board. Yeah.
You drink grape juice.
No.
Pretty much.
No.
What is it?
It might be sugar wine. It might be that, but it is not grape juice.
It's adult grape juice.
Because I have never had these effects by drinking grape juice, for sure. When I finish a bottle of grape juice, I feel absolutely fine. When I finish a bottle of my wine, I do not feel fine.
But what kind of wine do you drink?
I like Moscato.
Moscato. Mm-hmm. Grape juice.
No, it's delicious.
It's juice.
All right, Taylor.
Oh, that's so greatness. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
but it was fun.
It was. You know what? That would be fun.
It was a lot of fun.
That would even be for like a great date night to go, like, to have like couples come over and then have like couples build their boards. Just, I'm not drinking a Moscato.
There were lots of wine options. Jamie had a whole plethora
It's juice with benefits.
That is not Jesus juice. Jesus juice is way more.
Jesus juice is more like a Merlot or a Cab, like good wine.
No,
good wine.
Yeah. See, I can only drink that kind in a Jesus cup because that's all I can handle.
Sipping Saints. I like this idea. Rosalie, you want to know what? I think Coco's Kitchen should put something like this together, an event. And have it be a couple's date, and each couple charge each couple like $40 or $60. That way everything's taken care of.
Yep.
And we can meet at Rosalie's house.
Sure. What's wrong with your house?
I have tiny people that go to bed at 7:30.
Oh.
And if Amber is in that household, some of them will not go to bed because they know that mommy's downstairs.
That's true.
So a Malbec.
Yes.
Ooh, Malbecs are good.
No,
Rosalie, this is actually a good idea for her. Like to have a Coco's Kitchen like charcuterie board event, and then just have it BYOA, BYOW, bring your own wine.
BYOB beverage. I actually took my own beverage as well because I knew there was going to be wine. No, she said I'll have plenty of wine, and I'm like, well, Lindsay's kind of picky. So.
But this would be a lot of fun. Like, I would do that. I would do it. Mm-hmm. Mostly to hang out and drink wine, but
But we got to snack on our boards as we were making them. It was fun.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking food. I'm liking this idea. And have some Godfather music playing. There you go, Rosalie.
What you guys didn't get any scraps of on the board were these yogurt-covered pretzels. Those were yum. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, how's your weekend, Nick?
No. All right, so after that we had a little church in there, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
And then you guys went to the
We beach.
Went to the beach.
It was amazing.
The perk of living at Winsong.
It was so busy. So busy. There were so many people. There were no chairs, no tables available. Like, it was busy.
Taylor said you showed up with Dr. Pepper. Did you bring the additional item that goes with the Dr. Pepper?
I did.
Yes.
Yes, I did. But Jamie met me at the door and she's like, I have that on stock for you, right?
This Jamie person, so
she's
thoughtful.
Amazing. I know. She is
so
amazing.
thoughtful.
So
Goodness.
I left mine at the door and then I just drank hers.
I like it. There you go.
No, we have a beach in our neighborhood. It's
Yes, we
called
do.
the Lagoon, and it's amazing. Yeah, we played in the sand. The kids went in the water. Mom and Dad did not go in the water because it was
Aw.
like 66 degrees. It was cold.
You could have got your cold.
I could have got my ice bath.
You could have. It was cold enough, right? I like it.
Yeah, no thanks.
Okay.
No thanks.
So you had a pretty good weekend.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Let's see. Started off with a great relaxing evening on Friday. Saturday morning had Mighty Men. I've had this particular gentleman officially cancel on me 4 times now for different meetings.
I actually saw that gentleman at church.
And I'm very conflicted as to handle this situation.
Okay.
Very conflicted.
What are you conflicting?
Just saying, knowing walking away or being gracious. Being gracious and, like where's that cutoff? So that's a conversation that we're going to have today during our L10.
Yep.
So there's
I have
that.
some thoughts.
I'm sure you do.
I'm sure
you do. You
Just
do the
whether
thinking.
I share them or not.
You do the thinking and you do the thinking. Do that thinking. But here we go, right? Like, yes, he canceled, but I got to spend a good 2 hours with Nolan at Starbucks.
Who's like your BFF?
Yes, he is my best friend. Talking about just life and direction and investments. Just really catching up. And it's amazing how fast time can fly by and how out of sync you can get with friends and family. No, Taylor, I'm not going to call him out. Yes, I'm definitely going to speak to him about that, but I'm not going to do it on the show. That would be rude.
Yeah, we don't do that.
No, that's a lot of negative energy. So, but yes, I agree with that.
It doesn't have to be negative energy.
If I said his name on the show,
well, no.
that would be very rude.
I was just thinking, like, calling people out in love doesn't have to have negative energy.
Correct. But just talking about people.
Yes.
Because I have a louder voice than everyone else.
Yep.
So there was that, and then what happened Saturday? Oh, so my brother Robert's in town. He's about to fly back, so we went and had lunch over at my sister's house. Had a great time there. It was beautiful. Diane and Aaron. Yes, there we go. Right, Taylor? Diane and Aaron have just built up this massive outdoor patio, just step by step.
Awesome.
It is freaking gorgeous.
Yay.
It is. It was a perfect weather. Like, it's not just the patio, but they did the big pavilion, and it's locked into the house. There's the TV,
nice.
and there's the good breeze. And man, they got this grill. I need this grill.
The Blackstone.
Oh my goodness! How did you know that?
Because I actually came and visited your wife twice this weekend and never saw you at your house. So, she shared stories with me already.
Yeah, like.
But yes, I've heard stories about Blackstones.
Like
my family in Michigan have them.
That's going on the dream board. Like, because I don't want just a little Blackstone. I want the big one, and it has to connect to the natural gas. It has to just be done right. Yep. So then there was that. Then, I stayed up late, and then on Saturday, really just hanging out with Amber. And then Sunday morning, I've been invited to be on a particular team within the church, and I got to shadow them on Sunday. And it was very eye-opening. It was very eye-opening. Like, here, I can call an audible. I can change.
What is an audible?
An audible is where there's things on the screen, and I go, let's talk about this. I can change direction. I can change conversation.
Yeah.
We can interact with people in the comments and
when I
rabbit hole.
When I hear an Audible, I think of a book on Audible.
Good. There you go. Right.
Yes, we are twinsies today. We are wearing both wearing purple.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I got the stripes though.
Yep. Solids.
There you go.
Yeah. We should play billiards.
But I got to shadow the team that I'm looking at participating in and learn a lot about the digital side of church. Learn about the digital distribution of church and how when Pastor Keith pulls an audible or any pastor pulls an audible,
and they're like going off script.
Or they go off script. Like here, I could do that and it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I control everything. I have the technology. I can do this. See? Now you don't see Lindsay anymore. Oh, and now you do see Lindsay, right? Like I control
that's all Nick.
everything, right? So if I call an audible, if I decide I want to change something, it's really me that gets to do that. When the church calls an audible, when whoever's on stage calls an audible, I watched how many people had to move things around to make sure that not just the audience in the auditorium stays in sync, but also the audience online. And it's just, there's so much that goes into it.
Yes.
And yes, I understand that it's a production, like every church sermon is a production, but the level of production that happens at Elevate was just, I was very, very surprised.
Yeah.
At how many people it takes to make that happen. And granted, because of my background, yes, I'm going to notice a lot of nuance and detail, things that most people won't notice. But because I'm able to notice that, that connects to this connects there, and oh wow, like it was just it was very eye opening.
Yeah.
But it also helped me understand the value of scripting. I know the value of planning, but now getting to see that in action on a lot larger scale. And, we're also reading Your Divine Fingerprint and Understanding 1%. And this right here, interacting with you guys as the audience, being in front of a camera and speaking on stage, that's part of my 1%. So understanding that and now stepping into that role in more ways that don't benefit Nick per se, but can start being more kingdom building, right? So there was that on Sunday morning. Got to spend a lot of time with Gary Gregory, just having a lot of conversations with him.
He just said he can't wait for you to be on the team.
Yes, thank you, Gary. Gary, hey, remember Gary talked about something called you want to know what, Gary? Can I bring up the map? Just let me know in the comments if I can talk about that, because it's really his idea. And I don't want to steal it from him if he's not ready to distribute that. Gotcha. Okay.
How thoughtful. Right? Thank you.
I know, right? Normally just. But it was a lot of fun. But then also to see how the YouTube interactions happen, how the Facebook interactions happen, how people interact with people on the website and the app, right? To see all that and to see how delicate it needs to be. How delicate and how honorable you need to be online, right? Because you're representing the house, right? You're not representing yourself, right? You're representing the house. And when you start to step into these roles now, not are you just representing yourself, now you're also representing, because there's a direct correlation there, right? There are things that, like Garrett shared this. Okay, map away. Okay, so Gary was talking about he does the Wednesday night marriage, right? And he wants to start a digital program called the Marriage After Party.
Oh, fun.
Right? And it was like, oh, after party, don't know how that could go. And I was like, oh, you call it the MAP, right? Like Nick's brain, create an acronym. The Marriage After Party is a map. Let me help you map your way through your marriage.
Wow.
Right? But it's a complete online experience.
Okay.
For Gary Gregory and his team to help people with their marriages online. Right? So that was the map idea.
Cool.
And like we talked about for like easily 20 minutes of this and that and this and that, and Gary's all excited about it. So
Yeah.
he was like, "Can I? When should I go talk about the pastors with this and this kind of stuff?" And it was good. It was really good because you can see you could see Gary, like that was his 1%. Like, let me help marriages, and it was like, you want to know what? It was like someone ramped up on a throttle. Right? Like you saw him just move, and the ideas and the connection the dots. It was really good. It was really awesome.
That's awesome.
But so the map idea, right? Marriage after party. Love it. But like Garrett, right?
Yeah.
Garrett is a prominent figure within our house. The church. When I say the house, I mean the church. Sorry. Okay. So he's a prominent figure within the church. But one of the things that Garrett talked about during Mighty Men was when he goes to do business with someone, one of the things that he does is he goes and he meets the wife. He meets the family before he decides to do business with people. And the reason for that is he believes as a man, if we're going to do business together, you need to make sure that you can lead yourself. You need to make sure that you can lead your household. And then we can talk about doing business.
Oh.
Right? Could you imagine if more people thought that way? And I love that because you want to know, because if you are honorable to yourself, if you're honorable to your spouse, and then now you can be honorable in business, right? Because there's a direct correlation, right? It got me going down the direction of, well, let's talk about marriage, right? If you're being honorable, then Garrett never has to worry about having a business meeting and business people going and doing things because maybe they're on vacation or they're on a business trip and getting put in awkward situations, right? Or getting put in compromising situations, right? And it got me going down this direction of, oh, if you're honorable to yourself, you're honorable to your spouse, you're gonna be honorable in business. But what that does, but it keeps you around the right people because you're around the right people that have the same mindset. One, but two, it makes sure that those situations never come up.
You're talking about like partnering in business, correct?
Partnering in business. If you're gonna go into a partnership with Garrett, he does not just want to meet you and see your finances and do all the business stuff. He wants to make sure that you are a leader in your household.
Okay.
He wants to speak to your spouse. And he actually said this, and I'm going to paraphrase. He's like, great, you can have the best reviews online. You can have all these business partners. But if I talk to your spouse and I don't see that, we're not doing business together. What a whole new standard.
We actually did that before we
did
started working together.
Taylor, that is really good. You're absolutely right. Well, you want to know what, Taylor? I'm gonna say yes and no. I know very successful businessmen who are great at the business, but their household's out of order, right? But if you look at those businessmen, they're normally making bad decisions when they're away from their families. And
bad decisions away from their family?
When they go on business trips.
Oh.
When
gotcha.
they are those kinds of bad decisions, right? They're good at running their business, but they're bad at managing their household.
Right.
And you need to have both. Now, well, I will definitely say that not 90% of the time, easily 70% of the time, that's correct. Okay. If you can't manage your household, you have no right running a business.
Right.
But the opposite's true as well. Like, how many times have you heard, there's this guy that just hops out of my head. I'm not going to say his name online, but he runs a very large company. Okay. But he's so involved in the company, he's not involved in his wife or his kids' lives.
Right.
Like, he's spending 10 hours a day in the office, not because he has to. He has people to delegate work to because that's his focus. And, and speaking with him, a lot of he'll vent about his current household issues. And it's like, man, like, you can leave at 3-4 o'clock.
Anytime you want.
You can leave. Like, you can be present in your household.
Right.
Right.
Isn't that funny though, how so many of our struggles are of our own making?
Keep going. You
Like,
elaborate on this.
he's choosing to work 10 hours a day. I'm just going to use him as I don't even know who this is, but he's working 10 hours a day and he's complaining about these struggles at home, and yet he's continuing to work 10 hours a day.
Not by choice. He's absolutely by choice. He doesn't have to.
He's choosing to work those 10 hours a day instead of saying, you know what, these things are happening at home. I need to give more of my attention at home than continue to give all my attention at work.
Correct.
Or is he using work as an escape to not have to deal with what's going on at home?
Right.
So he doesn't want to come back home early.
Right.
You know? So, I mean, there's just a lot of people that avoid that conflict or that type of situation.
No, absolutely. It's an avoidance thing.
Yeah.
It's, I don't want to deal with this. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now, I say that, and please understand, I'm giving you an example here, right? This is a person I've had conversations with. This is a person that I've in him venting this to me. It's like, okay, I understand that. I know who your team is. You can delegate a little bit more, and you could be home.
Right.
And I think it's to the point where he's not led his family for so long. He's nervous about stepping back into that role.
Right.
I get it. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean that you push it off to tomorrow, though. Like, still start today. Like, it's not going to get better the more you ignore it. The more you sweep it under the rug, it's not going to get better. Mm-hmm. It's just going to create more of a dust pile under the rug, and eventually there's going to be a lump there, and you're going to trip yourself as you walk from one room to another.
Well, I think it all starts with a plan. You know, as much as...
Man, I'm so proud of you for saying that. I am so proud of you for saying that.
It starts with a plan because you need to communicate and say, hey, with your spouse, I want to talk about this on this day. We're going to talk about this. We're going to come up with a plan together to start making this a better situation.
And understand what you just said. Just by taking that one step, you've stepped back into leadership. Mm-hmm. Like you may not have all of the trust right now. You may not have all the honor right now. You may not have, there might be people still second guessing you right now, but at least you stepped into, you're working on stepping back into that leadership position. Mm-hmm. Right. And it's funny because when people have lost that, it's very hard for them to step back in till they make a decision that I'm going to step back in. I'm going to say it one more time. It's hard for them to step back in till they make the decision to step back into leadership. Okay? You can't be wishy-washy on this. I'm going to lead my family. Yeah. Not I'm going to try to lead my family. Not I'm thinking about leading my family. No, I'm leading my family.
You either do it or you don't.
It's just like, it's just, you want to know what? All the nerds out there, it's just like Master Yoda. Do or do not. There is no try. I don't believe I just said that.
You know, there's a Talk Like Yoda day.
That would be a great day.
Great day.
That would be a great day. Right? But that's really what it is you can't be the wishy-washy. No. You acknowledge it. Hey, I've lost I've stepped back from my leadership position. Mm-hmm. Right? Perfect. You acknowledge it. Okay. Let's create a plan. Right? And now we're going to choose to be leaders again.
And I think this is important as well. A lot of people that have these understand that, you know, a goal is a wish list until you take action.
Wow. Taylor, when we had this conversation, when you and Gabe come here, this is the conversation that we should have. Because I know Gabe and Taylor, I mean, they've gone through a lot. They've both been in corporate.
Yep.
They've both been in entrepreneurship, right? At times, Taylor's had to lead the family. At times, Gabe has had to lead the family. Like, they've had to switch roles at times, right? Because of work schedules. Like, I remember when Gabe was working at his W-2 position, and he was working like sun up to sundown. That man was never home, and Taylor had to take point in the household, right? And they've had to. Think of it like a ping pong game. Like they've had to bounce that back and forth. They've had to have some volleys. Absolutely.
And I think that makes a great team when you know that you can volley it back to that other person and they're going to take care of it.
That's how you know that's how you know that the person is on your team, right? It's funny. We just talked about ping pong. During a conversation I had with a guy, we were talking about ping pong and conversation, and how when someone decides to become growly at you. Okay, so you're having a conversation.
You did not use the word growly with this adult, did you?
No, I
you?
did not.
Okay.
I'm using that with this audience because they know what it means. So they go to throw some very negative, growly stuff at you. Okay, just some negative darts, and you want to. Sometimes you can just. Sometimes you have this issue. Like think of it like someone just mishit a ping pong ball, and boy, you can slam it. Right? You can you just turn that into a missile. Like you could just wind up and. But then what? You've slammed it. You got your point. But what you forget is that person on the other end of that table is actually your teammate. It's not a competitor. It's a teammate. So instead, maybe just step out of the way and just let it go by. Don't react. Respond.
Or
don't
like slam it, don't missile it, just volley it back to them and be like,
no.
hey, because that's the point of ping pong is to keep it going back and forth. I mean, that's a volley. That
is a volley.
That's how you keep getting better. You don't let it go.
Sometimes you just need to let it go so you can go back over and you can grab the ball and you can serve it again, but serve it on your terms. Take that deep breath. Slow things down a little bit. You want to? This would actually make for another good book. The Ping Pong of Life. Right? Because at the end of the day, it's a decision, right? You could missile it, you could volley it back, you could let it go. So you have to go back and pick it up and take that deep breath and step back a little bit.
You could even talk about take each one of those. Each one would be a section in the book.
Yes.
And the consequences.
I hope someone's writing this. Angelina, I hope you're writing this down.
It'd be the consequences of, okay, so you missiled it back. Now what?
Now what? You miss out. That would be how many people would that resonate with? I don't know. Who plays ping pong today?
I mean, there's other things besides ping pong. Like there's volleyball and.
Ooh, right.
All of it's a volley back and forth.
Oh, are you the paddle or the ball? Nolan, this could be a book. This could absolutely be a book. And you could take this. You said volleyball, and what's that movie where this guy has a very different last name, and they go to the wife's parents' house, and the dad is like a former FBI or CIA agent, and they're playing volleyball in the pool, and he goes up to prove himself. Yes, and he slams it, and it shatters. I think the wife's nose or the soon-to-be bride's nose. Mm-hmm. That movie is. I actually feel for him. Family Order.
Oh, man.
Morning, Dustin. There you go, right?
Good morning, handsome. That's my handsome.
That's yours.
That's my handsome man. Yep.
That's yours. Man, this has been a good conversation.
Yes.
We didn't even get to the topic.
I know.
We did so many audibles because I could do it because we could do it because it's our show that we didn't get to the topics. So we're going to push this topics off to tomorrow.
Okay.
This was a good show. This was a good show. Hey, thank you guys for being in the comments. Know that we love you guys. This is also how we know that you guys are here with us. Maybe Dustin's been watching this whole time, but we didn't know till he dropped some comments.
Right.
Right. So that's how we know that you guys are here, and you guys definitely liking the video means a lot to us. If you're listening to this on a podcast, please go follow us on Facebook and YouTube because that's where the comments happen. That's where we interact with our audience. Mm-hmm. So come over here. Come over to the YouTube. Come over here to Facebook, and we can interact with you. It is Monday. Do you have your big three?
No, not yet.
My comment was a little late. Yeah, I do not have my big three yet. There's actually there's a lot to get done today. There's a lot to get done today. Mm-hmm. And you know, it's supposed to storm tonight, so I'm just gonna. Yes, we're probably gonna leave a little early just so I can put the car in the garage. Why? Because I can.
Because that's a process.
It is a process.
Just so you know, we have to leave early so Nick can put the car in the garage because he has to clean out the garage
before I get the car in there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lindsay.
You're welcome. I mean, people, I hear that and I'm like, Why do you have to leave early to put that car in the garage? Like, that's so
Because I needed to secure the garage. I checked the weather this morning. I was like, oh, it's going to storm today. All right. Well, I guess we're going to leave a little early today.
That's funny.
So, hey, make sure you guys get your big 3 in there. Lindsay, can we please get the post up today?
Yes,
so that way
be up in the next 10 minutes.
Perfect.
Well, maybe 20.
I'll give you 30. And that way we can make sure to put our big 3 in there. And hey, you want to know what? It's the first week of Q2.
Hey, good morning, Cassie. Thanks for joining.
Morning, Cassie.
Yes, first week of Q2.
It is the first week of Q2.
Have you done your big 3 for the month?
So I actually,
or the quarter?
Yes. For the quarter, yes, I had the big 3 for the quarter are done. The big 3 for the month are not done.
That's because we had a meeting last Friday.
We did. We had our meeting on Friday, and we planned out the quarter, and it was, here's our big 3. Here's what we want to accomplish for the quarter. So, excuse me.
And that goes for your family too. Like, what do you want? How far do you want your family to get in the next quarter? Like, I have some goals.
I need to just put a planning session in the calendar for the family. Like, we do it here at work. I don't do it for Amber and I. Oh, no. Wait a second. We have date night this weekend.
There you go.
Done. Q2 is going to get planned out over date night. That's what's happening.
Way to, just bring work into the date night.
Dad commented. He says, I'm ready for the final phase: retirement, golf, grandkids, and sleep.
That sounds perfect.
Right?
When is that going to happen for Grandpa Gartside?
That's was a conversation over the weekend as well.
Oh, good.
It absolutely was. So, hey, you guys, thank you guys for tuning in today. Thank you guys for being in the comments and liking. And you want to know what? Bring your positive today. Just bring it. Bring your positive this week. This world needs you. This world needs you to be a leader. They need your positivity. They need your energy. And if you need some, borrow mine.
And remember, it's your choice whether you missile the projectile back, you volley it, or you just let it go. It's your choice.
Just let it go.
Yeah.
So we love you guys. Make sure that you
rise up
and crush it.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.